हेलो फ्रेंड्स, मैं प्रणव कुमार पिपिक्स चैनल में आपका स्वागत है। फ्रेंड्स, आज मैं आपको एडोबी इनडिज़ाइन के अंदर पेज मार्जिन सेटिंग कैसे बनाएंगे वो मैं बताने जा रहा हूँ। तो फ्रेंड्स, चलिए एडोबी इनडिज़ाइन शुरू करते हैं। देखते हैं इस सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर कैसे पैराग्राफ्स मार्जिन सेटिंग किया जाता है।
They seem familiar once the program loads, and then we can just get started right away. Alright, so my program is finally finished loading. So our first step is to open a new document. So on this first dialog box that you have open when the program first opens, I want you to click on Create New Document. And most of the time when we print our newspaper, it's in a tabloid format. So on the second option down where it says page size letter, right now that's set up for just a typical 8.5 by 11 letter. You want to click on the drop down menu and select tabloid. And then go down just a little bit in that dialog box where it says columns. And I'd like you to set up your paper for a 5-column layout. So just click on number, that's 5. And we are going to leave the gutter at 1 pika. That's pretty standard spacing. And once you change it to tabloid and you select your appropriate number of columns, click OK. Alright, so here is our first look at our basic newspaper layout. So we're just going to use some of the basic tools in InDesign to create a layout for the front page of the newspaper. Okay? So first we want to create our nameplate or flag. I'm going to refer to it as a nameplate as we go. So the first tool I want you to choose is the rectangle tool. If you look at your tools bar over here on the left side of the screen, the rectangle tool is the box that does not have the X. So go ahead and select that. Come over to your document, come down. I'm looking at my rulers and I'm down maybe like 8 pikas or so. And I'm just going to draw a nice rectangle here. Just a little more than an inch from the top of my page. I'm going to draw a rectangle. Once we have our rectangle once we have our rectangle drawn, we're going to fill it in just so it stands out on the page. So what you want to do now is come over to the toolbar on the right side of the page and select swatches. You want to make sure in your swatches box that the fill option is selected. Since we print black and white, we're just going to keep the standard grayscale. So I'm going to choose black. Now this is really dark and heavy on the page, so I'm going to change my tint to about 20% black, which will make it a nice shade of gray. And just because I want to, I'm going to put a stroke around the box. That's what we call a frame in design. So within your swatches tool, if you just select the stroke option, I'm just going to do a black stroke around it. Alright, so I've got my stroke around the box. We'll see it when you select the box. Up here at the top, I just want to make sure that I have my stroke, so it'll be selected for 1. Alright, so there we go. Next step is to create the title of our newspaper. Now our newspaper is called The Spirit, so we're just going to type that in. In order to put text on your page, you can draw a text box. Come back to your navigation or your toolbar on the left side of the page. That's the text tool, it's the big T. Click on that, and we'll first draw our box. And I'm going to type in Now this is really small, so we definitely need to zoom in, and you do that by holding the Control key and then clicking plus. So we're nice and zoomed in. Now the default font size on InDesign is 12-point font, so we definitely want to increase it. So you highlight your text, and then we can increase our font size up here. I'm going to set it, let's do it 60. Maybe a little bit bigger. Let's try 72. Alright, 72. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so I can see what this looks like on the to select our paragraph tool. And in your options up here, we want to select the Align Center button. Alright, there we go. So we have our title of our newspaper and our nameplate. And now we want to add in on our nameplate our date, volume, and issue number. So this is going to be done with a separate text box. So again, we need to select the type tool. I'm going to draw it down here, and then I'll slide it up here in a minute. So I'm going to select my type tool here. We'll call it volume 1, issue 1. Today's date, October 11, 2014. And we're going to keep the font size at 12 points. So if I select my character formatting tool up here at the top left, make sure it's 12 points. That'll be pretty standard for printing. I'm just going to drag this up into place in my nameplate. We'll align it over here to the right side of the box. And there we go. We have a very basic version of a nameplate for our paper with our paper title and our volume number. Alright, so now we want to place our dominant element on the page. So we're going to start out placing a picture. Alright, so first we're placing our picture for our dominant element. Now based on a story layout, I'm going to place this in the picture. So we find our rectangle frame tool, that's the rectangle that has the X in it. Select that. I'm going to drop this just in the middle of my page. And I'm going to imagine that I'll have a headline above this story. So I'm just going to line this up. It'll be 3 columns wide, and it's just a nice rectangle. That'll give me space to put my story there. We'll talk about filling that in later. Right now it'll just be a box there that we can fill in later when we're ready to put in our actual layout. Alright, so there's my dominant element on my page. Now I'm going to make up a headline for this story. So remember, anytime we're typing text, we want to select our type tool. And I'm going to make this headline the width of my story, so these 3 columns. And because I'm not feeling too creative now, I'm just going to make my headline goes here. And we'll fill this in later. So with your headlines, you want to do your best to fill all of the space that you have. And so we definitely need to increase the point size on that. So I'm going to see what 36 looks like. Maybe just a little bit bigger. Let's take it to about 40. Now you can select the text in your font size box and type it in. And then once you enter, it will adjust the text size to fit within that box. Alright, now I don't like how it's floating over my picture so far, so I'm going to drag that down just a little bit and pull both of these elements up so that they're right under my nameplate, which gives me a little bit more room to put space. Alright, so now let's place the columns for this story. Let's put where our text is going to be in the story. So again, since we're typing text, we want our type tool. And you'll notice that typically when we're drawing text boxes, they snap right to the grid, which makes it nice and easy. Alright, so what we'll do here is fill the story with placeholder text. Now I'm going to copy Control-C and then Control-V for paste. I'm going to copy and paste the same column size over so that it's nice and consistent. Remember, when we're designing, we want to design in blocks. And now to fill the space, just to see what it's looking like on the page, if you right-click within your text frame, with the dialog box that pops up, you can select Fill with Placeholder Text. So go ahead and click on that, and then we'll do that for each of those columns. And now we can see what our story would look like on the page. Alright. So we want to place 3 more stories on this page, and I've got 2 full columns available, and then this rectangle here down at the bottom is available. So let's start with that rectangle down at the bottom. So first for our story, we need a headline. And again, drag my frame up just so it's not just kind of hanging out there in space and taking up space, because if your frames overlap, things get kind of confusing when you're trying to select certain frames. Now again, just like we did for the story just above, we want to draw in our columns and fill them with placeholder text. So let's do that. Here's my first column. And to keep it easy on myself, I'm going to copy it and paste it over. So again, Control-C to copy, Control-E as a picture to paste. And then one more time, Control-V, and I'll paste our third column. Alright, now we have two stories. Now I'm thinking for this left column here, I want to do a nice little sidebar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw just some small picture frames. And these will just be kind of like skyboxes. Maybe we can do these where it's referring readers to what's inside our paper. So we'll do kind of little pictures, and we can put pictures or graphics in here. That'll break up the page nicely and create some more entry points for our reader. And then here would be kind of a brief description of the story that they could find inside this paper. And again, we'll put this with placeholder text. Right click, placeholder text. Now again, because it's easier to do it this way, if you select both of these elements and then hit Control-C, Control-V, you can just copy and paste them all the way down that column, which will save us time to do some other things later on. Alright, awesome. So now we have four pieces that'll refer readers into what's inside our story. And now we just have to place one more story in this last column. So first, I'm going to type my headline. And again, headline goes. Increase my font size to fill this column. Now it's going to have to be a little bit smaller. Alright, headline goes here. That spreads nicely across that one column. It'll be a one column story. We're going to imagine that the placing goes all the way down that column. So I'm going to draw my box to fill that column width all the way down to the bottom. Right click, fill with placeholder text. Now the one thing I don't like is that I have a headline right next to a headline. So what we can do to separate these elements is just to put in some lines around our main story here in the center. So I'm just going to draw some lines to give some separation to that. So if you come over to the left side toolbar, you'll find your line tool. I'm just going to draw a nice vertical line right down this gutter there. Okay. I want to make this maybe about 5 points. So if you choose this drop down menu up here at the top, point